Domain name transfers. So this deals very specifically with the CO.ZA. Okay, and the same principles apply to the org.za. So what we want to do here is, say you want to transfer your current domain name from one service provider to another. First thing, you want to make sure that all your data, your website, your emails, basically has been transferred over, because the last step would be to transfer the actual domain name over from the current service provider to the new service provider. So we're just going to take it that all your other processes have been done, and this is the final stage. So the process is this basically. Step one, you'll want to contact your current service provider and let them know that you are going to be sending through a ticket from your new service provider to transfer the domain over to them. Sometimes they have certain locks on the domain to prevent transfers, so they can take whatever steps. Usually that's not the case, but they can take whatever steps need to be taken. If they need to unlock the domain, great. Usually that doesn't happen with .co.za. So they at least know that if they need to take any steps to make the domain ready for transfer, that those steps are taken. Then once they've given the okay and said yes, you can transfer the domain away, let your new service provider know that they can now send a transfer request ticket, okay, for that domain, and that the current service provider is aware of that ticket coming through. Then they'll go ahead, and this is your new service provider, and they will send the transfer ticket request through to the current service provider. Now you yourself will get a transfer ticket in your email that will come from the registrar, but basically it would require you to acknowledge or at least accept or deny the transfer. So you'll open up the email from the registrar, and you'll see there accept or deny this particular transfer, and it will tell you where to click to accept or where to click for deny. So once you accept, immediately the transfer process begins for the CO.ZA. So the same thing applies with deny. If you click on deny, you are going to need to do the whole process again at a later stage if you still decide to move. Okay, so I think some things to keep in mind is that once you click accept, the propagation period starts, okay, and that could affect your emails, could affect your website. Make sure that all processes are in place. It's a good idea to do these kinds of transfers when traffic or business activity is low, usually in the evenings, or late at night. That would be so that propagation can take place also during after hours, and by the time you come back in the morning, propagation is done, hopefully, and you're immediately able to start work with no interference whatsoever. So just keep these processes in mind relating to the transfer. The transfer is relatively easy. Another thing to also note that when the registrar sends you the transfer ticket, the copy to you, something to keep in mind is that you have a 5-day period within which to accept. If you don't accept or deny, basically inside of that 5 days, automatically the ticket will expire and you will have to do the process over again. So just keep it in mind that you have 5 days inside of which to accept or deny. Okay, basically to act onto that transfer request ticket. And basically that sums it up. It shouldn't be any more complex than that.